More examples of people that know how to draw but don't know how to think. Here we go. This guy thinks if we would just fund public school, we wouldn't have all this crime. But sadly, he's mistaken. I mean, he obviously hasn't heard of the school to prison pipeline, which proves otherwise. If you're gonna say public education fixes the problem, then you better as hell be right, because it clearly doesn't. Once again, missing the damn point. The tools are crap. Kids, yeah, they own iPods and chewing gum, bubble gum, and yeah, they fool around sometimes, but that's not the main problem. Problem is, education's designed to dumb you down in this country in terms of the public sector. It's not meant to really enrich your mind. In those other countries, China, India, they seem to have a bit of a better ethic with their educational systems. This country, it's pretty much all about the money and the brainwashing and how to squeeze it out of the children, of the students, with the public indoctrination machine. It's not, oh, those kids just fool around. Like Dave suggested this. Ah, yes. If there's anything liberals like to do, it's act like the NRA represents all gun owners and that it's super freaking evil. That it's the devil, and that, as the devil, it needs to be destroyed. Take a look at this shithole of a cartoon. I mean, what's even the argument that guns make people insane? They don't. It's just a frickin' inanimate object, okay? That's all a gun is. It's an inanimate object. Doesn't make people insane. Doesn't cause evil, doesn't cause violence, it's a tool. So, and yet this cartoon says, making the connection between insanities and guns. Exhibit A. And you got stereotypical fat NRA man holding an AR-15, saying, it's one tiny step from banning assault rifles to Hitler, Stalin, and Pol Pot. Well, as I say billions of times, assault rifles are already banned. Well, if made past 1986, as well as all other automatic firearms. So, the person, Horsey, who made this cartoon, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And, if you do ban guns, yes. If you do one gun control, more are soon to follow. If you give them an inch, they take a mile. And even though the NRA calls itself the No Compromise Gun Rights Organization, it's compromised many times. It's compromised with the assault weapons ban, the Hughes Amendment, the Gun Control Act of 1968, the Gun Control Act of 1938, the NFA of 1934. It's compromised. It's not a true gun rights organization. It doesn't represent all gun owners, and it doesn't even cause violence, and yet people are acting like, NRA, man, those guys are fucking Nazis. When they're really just a bunch of tools. I mean, come on now. The thing about this cartoon is it completely misses the point of the justified, legitimate criticism on the death penalty. I mean, it's not a bunch of criminals and criminal sympathizers whining about their lives being taken away when they took away lives. It's about getting the wrong person, and the fact that it costs more money for death row than even a life sentencing of a criminal. Also, sometimes the law isn't fair. I mean, you don't get good representation in court, or they don't really look at the evidence. and you can get put to death anyway. Well, okay, that's kind of related up with you can get the wrong person, but it felt a bit different. Also, what about the fact that you can get the death penalty for treason? You know, like if this country's government were to be evil and you were to betray it, then and get caught, you can get the death penalty for it. After all, Trump said Snowden's a traitor, and you know what we used to do with traitors, so I don't think it's good to have a punishment around to punish people for justly defying an unjust state. And also, it doesn't deter crime, and it's kind of a feel-good law, like, oh, we got rid of the murderer or the rapist. What about preventing rape and murder in the first place? So not only do you save victims, but, you know, stop people from even deserving these punishments in the first place. It seems like society just likes to clean up the mess of crime rather than prevent the mess in the first place. So this cartoon really doesn't have anything to say. Consider the fact that someone by the death penalty and they turned out to be innocent is in a very similar position as someone who got murdered by some asshole or raped by some asshole. It's got quite the same results. The victim got violated and killed by, you know, a law-breaking civilian. And in the other scenario, an innocent person got violated, this time by the state. So either way, you got an innocent person getting violated. I mean, what's the cartoonist have to say to that? To innocent people killed by the death penalty? Yeah, rapists and murders suck, but so does a state that can't get its shit together and executes innocent people. Just say no, am I right? Except that wasn't a legitimate policy towards drugs either. Drugs that shouldn't have been banned, along with anything that shouldn't have been banned, was banned. And Laura Bush was like, just say no. If someone tries to pressure you to take these drugs, and I'm like, well, these drugs shouldn't be banned, one. Number two, if someone really wants to coerce you into taking drugs, I think it's going to take a lot more than just saying no to try and get out of the situation. And as for the Obama part, well, I wasn't too happy with Obama's policies for the war on drugs either. He leaned towards legalizing pot, but obviously he wanted everything else to be illegal. So, yeah, both these guys are morons, and the war on drugs should end by now. Okay, here we have three people that believe in ridiculous things, laughing at a guy that supposedly believes in a more ridiculous thing. I mean, this comic is basically saying, yeah, these guys believe in ridiculous things, but they're nothing compared to the ridiculous thing this guy believes in. It's like, even the people that believe in these ridiculous things don't believe in what this guy has to say. But you see, here's the thing. It's a straw man. That's not the point. Obama really is a socialist dictator. And even if these three guys on the right, even if they don't even believe in that stuff, that doesn't mean the guy on the left is wrong. I mean, look at Obamacare. That's a socialist policy. And Obama, you know, supporting the NSA and causing all this collateral damage in the Middle East with the war on terrorism And wanting to take away guns does make him a socialist dictator. So this comic really isn't saying anything. So why can't the cartoonist have an actual argument instead of just saying, oh wow, even the people that believe in these ridiculous beliefs don't believe in what this guy with this ridiculous belief says? I mean, it's stupid. It doesn't say anything. Well, that's pretty much it, folks. More dumb cartoons. Like, share, fave, subscribe, whatever.